this is a mix-in sheet. I'm gonna do a stash busting one-page layout today. So this here is a mix-in sheet. And this is the one side. So it was originally like this, and the She Shed scrapper actually gave me this idea. I wanted to use both sides. So I gutted this out of here, leaving a 1-inch frame. And so this is a 10 by 10 square. So then I cut a 10 1/4 by a 10 1/4 square and glued it down on here. And then I want to put this one on here. And I actually want to have the I want to have the Blue Genie looking lines. There's not much, but there's a bit of lines going that way. So this leaves a very small trim here. And you're probably going to hear my puppy barking because the kids are starting to come home from school and she just thinks she has to bark out the window. You probably have some of this experience as well. So the picture I want to do today, I've already double mounted it. This is my husband and our oldest son and me on the occasion of he did what we call public profession of faith in our church. And I didn't get any pictures at church because he's a boy and he just kind of escaped before I had a chance. But it's kind of like in the Catholic Church, I guess it would be confirmation. It's kind of like he became an official member and he can do communion now. We have infant baptism. So I know some people aren't really interested in that, but if you are interested, then that's what this was about. So I also want to have this other wood grain, I think, going this way. I have the word now here because I kind of had a plan happening here. And then I have this little piece here. And I do want it on here, but I don't want florals. I do like the light bulbs just because I think they fit with a theme about faith. So I kind of want to put this right to the top of here. And then I want to cover up the flowers and leave just the greenery. So, and just kind of leave the light bulbs showing. And then I'm going to use a scripture verse. So here's the word faith. It's going to go in here. I might tuck this a bit this way and have this. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. So it's going to say now faith. And then I need to do a few more of these little black letters. This is all from my stash. So faith is confidence. Some people probably already know where I'm going with this. And then I need to do in what we hope for. And that's just part of a verse from Hebrews. So I just kind of wanted to use that for this layout. So I might bring this in a bit. I'm not sure. Not sure exactly how this is going to go, but something like that. And then I want to use this swag, and possibly I have another swag too. They're from the embellishments from Cherish. The like, what are they called? Cut files or whatever you want to call them. So there's this one, and then there's this one, all come in one package. So you basically get a 12 by 12 sheet pretty well if you put them together. So that, and I really, I actually saw Katie Taylor do one with swag, a swag kind of style like this. She had them kind of along the side. But anyways, And this one has little hearts to punch out, but I'm just leaving them in there for now so I don't lose them. And I'm thinking like this, but I do have another plan yet. I would like to use this stamp set, the light bulb, and I would like to do some black light bulbs across the white yet, and possibly some down here. You're not going to believe it, for once I did not distress the edges with ink. I actually did them with, well, I started with my nail, but I found an old scissors because I can't find my little edge distresser from close to my heart. I'm sure it'll come back, but I distressed all the edges with a scissors of most of these sheets of paper. I just wanted to kind of have a frayed look. Then I'm going to reposition everything back down, and I'm going to finish off the rest of the words of the verse I chose with the little black letters that are old, close to my heart, fair. I have so many of them left, and I actually had a problem. I ran out of W's. Of course, I needed an extra W. I actually ran out of A's in black too, but I used an upside down V, and I managed to put a little black piece in there. You could have even done it with a pen. I don't think anyone would ever see it, but I just cut a little black piece out of a number 1 or something and stuck it in there. And then I was missing a W, but I have the letters there in gold, black, and white, so I just used a white W and inked it black with a little sponge. And I don't think you can tell. As my mom always said, where there's a will, there's a way. So I got that all accomplished. And once I had the black letters in, I realized I really wanted to center that word hope. It just looked better centered, going all kind of straight, reading straight from top to bottom. So I decided to move it over there, and that really helped for the rest of my embellishments as well, actually. That just made the whole page flow a little better. I was always struggling a little bit where to put that word hope. The alphabets that I used for the larger words, faith, confidence, and hope. Faith is the keepsake alphabet. That is an older retired alphabet, which I think I'll be getting a lot more use out of now than I did when I first got it. And I'll explain that in a minute. The second one is the starter alphabet. That's the word confidence. I really recommend this alphabet for anybody who doesn't have very many and wants some lettering, because it is easy to use and it is quite inexpensive. And it's a nice size. It's bold enough that you can see it well, but it's still small enough that it's a cheaper set. And the final one, the word hope, is from the Hope and Kindness stamp set, which I believe is still available. And if it is, I will link it down below. So I'm quite excited about that keepsake alphabet. It is a scripted alphabet where you have to match up the letters. And so there's a little bit of overlapping from each, because there's a little swoop from the F that I have to match to the A, and so on. And in the past, I never really, my little OCD perfectionist brain didn't really like that you could see where it was overlapped. And I think that was, something must have changed from the old ink pads to the new ink pads, because when I used the toffee ink pad to do this word faith, you absolutely can't really tell. It looks totally seamless. Whereas if I would have used one of my older ink pads, you can definitely tell where there's 2 layers of ink. So I suppose it is worth getting all new ink pads, although that will probably take me some time, because there's always other things I'd rather buy, of course. The typeset alphabet is what I use to do the text, Hebrews 11:1. So this is the little light bulb from the In Full Bloom card making stamp set, and I'm just stamping a whole bunch of them. I was going to stamp them straight onto the background and draw a swooping line, but I decided it would be easier to build them. It's more labor intensive to cut them out and build them all like this, but then once you have them on the little string, you can kind of hold them where you want them, and then you don't end up ruining your whole layout because you stamp too close together, or you just don't like where they're ending up. And in the end, I really did like that they were kind of on top of the page. It's just adds another layer, which I really like. I was getting excited at this point because I really liked how those little light bulbs looked. I always find it a bit tricky to scrapbook for the boys, and especially this layout, because it's for my son, but it's also something that is like emotional, and I wanted to convey that, but I just wanted to convey it without flowers. I do like the greenery, or it's not really green, but the leaves that I've got on the page. Here I'm just trying to make sure I have them in kind of the same arc as the other swoopy banners. Anyway, so yes, I really like how this page, I was able to convey a little bit of masculinity even with an emotional or really heart-touching topic at the same time. At least it's very heart-touching for our family. I didn't like having a fourth swag or swoop of lights. There's 2 banners and 1 string of lights, and it just wasn't working for me to have a fourth one. Things often look better in odd numbers or in 3s. And so I tried having them hang straight from underneath the photo, and I liked that a lot better. I used gold string later on to attach the lights together, and also to have them come from underneath, each on their own string. And I just really like how that turned out and ended up looking. I marked where my string of lights was gonna swing, come down. And then I did a little bit of inking in the background and some splatters, just to give the page that little extra thing. This page really was a labor of love for me, so I spent quite a bit of time on it. I brought in my all-purpose mat so that I could keep my surface without too many gold splatters, although I'm pretty sure I felt some gold splatters hit me in the face. But I brought that in just to be able to make my splatters. I find the best way is to make a little puddle on an acrylic block, and then just sort of scoop it up with the brush. And if you really want some big splatters, a good thing to do is to hold the brush and allow it to kind of drip to the end, and then smack it so that the splatters really are big, because there's a lot of liquid in the end of the brush. Just a quick wipe and clean up, and then you can put your mat away. This mat is really handy to have for when you're doing a little bit of messy work. Then I could add my picture, or all my pieces back down, and add my picture with the pop tape. I did pop it up. I also popped up the words faith, confidence, and hope. And I used a little bit of liquid glue to position all the little light bulbs the way I wanted them. And that's how I positioned the swags and a lot of the little pieces that I'm adding here at the end. It really can be these little details that just make a layout so pretty. And I do simple layouts as well, and I like those too. But I just really only had the one picture of this occasion, because unlike my friends' daughters, my son wasn't really into standing outside taking family pictures together. And so when we got home, he went out with some friends after we celebrated a little bit with family, and then he went out with some friends. And when he got home later that night, and we weren't wearing church clothes or anything anymore, and I said, I do need a picture to commemorate this day. And he just came out and put his arms around us on the deck, and it was just kind of, in the end, it turned out really good that we got such a neat picture, and it was really a special occasion for our family. Just about done here, adding a few little gems and stickers. Some are from the freshly baked sticker sheet. Some are just some from my stash. I also used the gold pen. I used the smallest nib to go over the little, what would be the wire inside the light bulb to make them gold, which I thought was a neat touch. It turned out neat. And then I used the bullet nib, I think it's a 0.7, to add a few little more gold. I think I did that earlier already, but I added a few more little gold dots here and there with that nib. So that is a really neat application of that pen, because it makes a perfect little round circle, and you can, press harder to get a bigger dot, or very lightly to get what looks like a tiny splatter, and you can kind of create your own splatters, customize them exactly where you want them. Adding a few more freshly baked enamel stickers. And I used the inner pieces from the little swag at the top there, the little inner hearts. I used some more hearts from the laser cut sheet from the embellishments from Cherish. And I'm going to call this page done. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this page come together that was so near and dear to my heart. And thanks for stopping by Paper Therapy. I hope that you'll be back again, and hit that big like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.